Lindbergh High School junior Colleen Young returned to class this fall after a summer at the pool. Unlike many of her classmates, though, she wasn't just playing around in the water. She was taking home world championship medals. But Colleen's story of swimming success has a twist, one Nancy Pasternak found makes her accomplishments that much more inspiring.
At a time when most teenagers are fast asleep in their beds, Colleen Young is in the pool.
I love the feel of the water and then just swimming. It's awesome when you're in the water.
She wakes up at 4:30 in the morning to get to practice, and we go from 6 to 8:15 on the mornings. In the evenings, we go from 4:30 to 6. So it's a tremendous grind for these athletes.
Colleen is an elite level swimmer with the CSP Tide Riders. She also competes for Lindbergh High School, and last year she was the youngest member of the U.S. Paralympic swim team, where she set 5 American records in the breaststroke.
I'm proud of her, obviously proud of her, and I always want her to, try her hardest, be her best, always trying to improve and just continue going because there's no ceiling.
No ceiling and no limitations despite being legally blind. At birth, doctors diagnosed Colleen with albinism, a condition that results in little or no pigment in the skin, hair, and eyes. It affects her vision dramatically. She goes through life seeing the world in a blur.
I never really thought of myself having a visual challenge because it's always been a part of my life.
At school, Colleen blends in like any other teenager. While she'll occasionally use glasses to read her textbooks, you wouldn't know by looking at her that her vision is severely impaired.
For me, the thing that makes her stand out is that she doesn't stand out. You would not know that on a daily basis there's an impairment that she lives with. It is not a disability in her mind. And I think that the same kind of focus and goal setting, probably that she has done in the pool translates to the classroom.
While Colleen's mom was a swimmer, her parents encouraged her to try just about anything.
We were determined that she would be a regular, normal kid and that the handicap would not define her, that the handicap would not hold her back. We were always open to her trying whatever she wanted to do.
Growing up, Colleen played a number of sports: soccer, basketball, and golf. She says it was sometimes hard to see the ball, but she wanted to try everything. But she says the moment she got in the pool, she knew swimming was her calling.
It's you against the clock, and you just race to get your best time, and that's what matters.
Aside from perhaps applying sunblock more often than others, Colleen says she's no different than her teammates.
They're awesome. They're so supportive, and all my friends, they just treat me like any regular person. I still get hard sets, which sucks, but that's okay. We talk and laugh, and we hang out after practice too. They're awesome.
To make up for what she can't see, Colleen counts strokes and follows pool markers when she swims.
There's a black line at the bottom of the lane, so I usually just follow that to the wall.
It was a parent at a regional swim competition who suggested Colleen look into the Paralympics, an international event similar to the Olympics for athletes with a range of intellectual or physical disabilities. Neither she nor her parents dreamed she'd eventually meet the president, travel the world, and set U.S. records.
So it's not like something we were striving for. We just kind of fell into our laps, and it's been kind of a whirlwind ever since.
I think it's really cool because not a lot of people can say that they have an American record.
Colleen credits her parents for their strong support of whatever she's wanted to pursue. Her dad, a teacher, spends his summers off driving her to and from practices twice daily.
I wouldn't be where I am without them.
Colleen says she loves the camaraderie of the swim community. Support from students and teachers at school has also been critical to her success.
Juggling swimming and homework is really hard. Sometimes I don't finish my homework, so I have to do it before class, and I somehow make it work, and it's okay.
Colleen hopes to swim competitively in college. She also has set her sights on the 2016 Paralympics. She wants to medal there.
Colleen loves the sport, and she's willing to put in the time to work very hard at it.
People say that I am a role model, but I don't feel like it. I'm just a teenager, but I guess I am a role model to some, and I guess that's really, really cool.
Oh, I'm sure her potential is limitless, no matter what, pool or not in the pool. But I think because she is so dedicated and because she is so gifted, that we're going to see great things out of her.
Nestled in 250 unspoiled acres in Eureka, Missouri, is the 6th oldest continually operating youth camp in the world.
Never seen trees so tall, never seen mountains at all.
Founded in 1898, Camp Wyman was a response to kids growing up in urban poverty. This green oasis may be intimidating and foreign to this particular population, but what they experience changes their lives forever.
Kids will say something happens to them when they come through the archway that marks the front of this place.
Being in this rural environment, it challenges you, puts you in that challenge zone. Getting up on maybe the high challenge course or the rock wall, where I might not have been so wanting to do that at first. But as the years go on, you build courage being in this program.
The skills that they learn here, a lot of the non-cognitive skills, will transfer over to future environments that they'll find themselves in. It can put them on edge at first, but so will a college dorm, so will cubicles at work.
Wyman brought me from this shy girl to this lady this young woman who's willing to step out of her comfort zone and do things she's never thought she could do before.
It's just what these kids need at this age in their lives, where they're trying to figure out, who am I and how do I fit and how's it all work?
Despite all of those positives, in 2000, a startling discovery was revealed. The long-term impact of the summer camp program was failing some of its participants.
One kid told me that when he crawled in his cardboard box at night on the streets, he was homeless and lit a fire in a barrel. He sang camp songs that he'd learned here to put himself to sleep. So it had been nurturing, but it didn't change their life path. And that caused us to wonder, could we create an approach to our work where instead of giving kids a short experience and not knowing what happened to them, could we create a system that would give kids support over time?
Realizing extended mentoring was key, Hilliard expanded the program. The summer camp now serves as a kickoff boot camp into a much larger program called Wyman Teen Leadership and Teen Outreach. It tracks students for 6 years, almost guaranteeing success. 100% of students graduate from high school. About 78% graduate from college.
When you engage them in a program like Wyman's, in the Teen Outreach program and the Teen Leadership program, where you give them meaningful, authentic opportunities to belong to a positive community, to take on leadership roles, to be challenged in their learning and to challenge themselves, have positive adult and peer relationships, you're setting young people up for success. When we do that, they're less likely to drop out of school, they're less likely to take on risky behaviors, they're more likely to make a successful transition into young adulthood.
Everything that Wyman had taught me, I was all over scholarships. I actually won a total of 8 scholarships. Giving an education is giving someone else an opportunity.
Wyman taught me to be a leader, so now I can take these leadership skills and apply them elsewhere, like at school.
We often talk about our young people are our future. Well, our young people are now.
We want to break the cycle of poverty. We want to ensure that these young people, when they graduate college, are plugged into their communities and are contributing and are making salaries to where they can become independent.
It's a powerful place to teach, a powerful place for reflection. Nature teaches us that there's like 3 states to exist in. You can be growing, you can be dormant and getting ready to grow again, or you can be dying.
I just want to live my life like it was meant to be. Change me. Change me. Take my hand. Never seen trees so tall. Never seen mountains at all.
Waldorf School's unique classroom approach is a growing educational movement. It focuses not on what children learn, but how they learn. Shining Rivers Waldorf School in Webster Groves is celebrating 20 years of this tech-free teaching method. Behind the Mind's Jane Ballou visited its classrooms where enrollment has doubled over the past 5 years.
Waldorf education really strives to reach the whole child. So when we say that, we mean the head, hands, and heart.
Hear me sing my little round-bound song.
You will see in our classrooms a lot of artistic activity, a lot of movement, and a lot of storytelling to really fully engage the child.
In handwork, we do things like knitting, sewing, embroidery, and we just get some time to use our hands and be just free.
Instead of using published textbooks, students make their own throughout the course of the year.
By creating their own textbooks, they really have a sense of ownership and pride over their work. They're just a beautiful record of what the students have done all year, and it comes from them.
The Waldorf philosophy strives to connect children with nature and the environment around them.
Healthy eating habits, knowing where food comes from, being eco-conscious, these are all things that we feel like we can bring to the children in their school experience.
Without report cards and grades, an open line of communication is key.
One of the beauties of Waldorf education is that in an ideal setting, they will have the same teacher from 1st grade through 8th grade. And so that teacher really builds a relationship with the child and with the family. The child and the teacher and the parents really work cohesively to make sure that that child's development moves along academically in the best time frame possible.
I like the interaction that we have with not only our teachers but with other kids.
The use of technology is discouraged.
At our school, we don't have any electronic media in the classrooms. For one reason, we feel like there are just better ways to engage children in activities where we're trying to have some material for them to retain. We like to provide children with really rich materials, things that really engage their senses, maybe more than a computer screen. So often we're working with, beautiful papers and paints and crayons. It's not that we're saying screens are bad and no one should use screens or technology. We're just saying here in this classroom environment, we find more enriching ways to teach.
Unlike traditional schools, this school system follows the idea of child readiness.
It takes a look at when children are actually really ready to learn to read and learn to write and learn traditional forms of math. Now, all of these things, the basis for that is being set in the early childhood program. Children start their reading and their language arts education through verses, through songs, through fairy tales. They start learning math by working in the garden. They start learning math by knitting. It's hard to make that leap of faith when it seems that everyone around you, their 3-year-olds can read and their 5-year-olds are doing math problems and they're taking standardized tests. It requires a lot of faith on the parents' part, and it's hard to explain to other people as well. It can be a much more difficult transition if you're transitioning your child from 1st grade in a Waldorf school to 2nd grade in a traditional school, because where you're at academically is very different. But by the time they're in 8th grade, they've caught up and in many cases surpassed their peers on reading skills, math skills, science knowledge, and then certainly in the arts.
The curriculum is very alive, whereas if you were reading a textbook, those concepts are not living within the child. It also really engages this multiple intelligence theory, where we know that some children are kinesthetic learners and they have to learn by doing, and other children are visual learners and they need to be able to see it, and other children are auditory learners and they need to be able to hear the information. So by bringing the information in all these different ways, we're hoping to engage every child.
The best part of Waldorf education is that my children are being taught to learn as creative and critical thinkers.